I've lost the sunshine in my heart. Everything has turned from light to dark, and the shadows break my soul apart. Left for dead and bleeding leaves my mark here. So hopeless is all without. Love is sighing, angels lying dead, hearts are dying, men are crying without. Love is like an ocean filled with fear, and it whispers nothing in my ear. Like silent snowflakes from above, a barren winter desert without. Love is frozen, cold has chosen me, death is posing, oh heaven's closing without love. All right, let's see. Good morning. Indigenous meditation. The trees are taller where the land is earlier. Indigenous meditation is earlier. Good morning, Donna. Donna B Astrology.
Oh, hi.
Welcome. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Excellent. Thanks for asking.
And what are you talking about?
I am very simple, and I'm talking about indigenous meditation. And in quotations, it says the trees are taller where the land is earlier. So that's part of an indigenous meditation. What do I mean by indigenous, you may ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you. Indigenous meaning source, the original, something that was already there. So this verse came to me in a very interesting dream. It's much longer. Well, not much longer. It's a little bit longer, and it's sort of a puzzle. Maybe you can be one of the first people to try and help me solve it.
Go ahead.
Okay. It says, the trees are taller where the land is earlier. And if the trees are taller where a night has fallen, there I do not carry my lamp. So part of it I've deciphered, but the other part is an absolute mystery.
Where did you get this statement that you where the trees are taller, where the earth is older?
Okay, so slow down for a second. It's an exact quote, and as I said earlier, it came from a dream that I had.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
Yeah.
It sounds very connected.
I don't know what it is. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So, did you have a question about it, or would you like to hear about the dream?
Actually, I just kind of dropped in just to hear what you had to say.
Fantastic. Well, it's a pleasure
Kind of
meeting you,
new,
Donna.
actually, like literally very, very new to this app. So
Okay. Well, you're in the right place. You practice astrology, right?
I do.
Can you do a mini reading for me?
Yeah, but yeah, probably. Would you have a question? I love astrology.
Uh,
I love talking about it. I I work with a friend, and she has Astrobabble. So we have a podcast with that, but I would be happy to, if you've got anything that you would like to know, I'll try to answer it.
okay, well, I'm a Virgo, and it's September 6th, and I have a very important phone call with an author today. What do you have to comment on that? Or is there more information needed?
Well, number one, obviously you are very close to happy birthday sometime
Uh,
soon.
yeah, thank you.
Um,
Or
I,
it could have passed, right? The end
I,
of August.
okay. I, um, I really deal with, the older ancient type of astrology where your rising sign is really required, but I can tell you, oh, you're
Aquarius.
Aquarius rising. All right. There we go. Um, I would be very cautious and be ready to do things a couple of times with Mercury going retrograde pretty soon. We're in the shadow period of it right now.
Hmm.
Um, so I would be cautious.
How does it bode? How does it bode for things like contracts and new relationships and business deals, those type of things? That energy you just spoke of, Mercury is doing some kind of dance in the
Right,
retrograde,
right. It could mean that you're going to be doing things a couple of times.
and so repeating things.
Yeah, that's what a retrograde means is you're revisiting something that you have already done or will be doing twice. That's typically what a
Oh yeah.
retrograde means. Um,
Okay.
if I knew where your natal planets were, do you have anything do you have any planets that are in Gemini?
These things I don't know. I barely knew that my rising sign is Aquarius. I
And
don't
you know what?
mess.
That is fantastic
Yeah.
that you knew that your rising sign was Aquarius. Um, that's an air sign as well. It should go good with Mercury. It responds well with Mercury. Um,
Hmm.
but that's about as far as how anything that's going to be specific to you would be better off if I knew your chart. But I can tell you that Mercury is going to be going into retrograde on September 9th, and that's going to
And
create a lot of
can you?
snafus for most of the people. And if you have a lot of air signs,
Yeah.
it's
Well, all of life is a snafu for me. I just deal with it. But can you tell me something? Um, what of these air signs again? What is what is the opposite of retrograde? Is there a term for that in astrology?
yes,
Okay. And
direct.
what is that? Direct?
That's when the planet will look like it is going forward.
Okay. So retrograde is backwards, and that's the retro part of it. And so then, and grade, yes, in steps. Okay, got it. And then, and direct is when it's going what appears to be forward.
Right. And retrograde is where it appears to be going backwards. It doesn't really go backwards.
Okay, I'm currently casting a spell right now to write this retrograde energy in case it has, only in the case if it has some type of negative effect that's going to really knock me off a course of my destiny. Thank you for letting me know that, Donna B Astrology. I saw in your bio it says, I understand the big rocks and the little rocks and how to best use their energies for my best life. How can I help you? So you helped me today. Thank you for clarifying some things with astrology, Donna.
Well, you're quite
I appreciate
welcome.
you and welcome to Wisdom. You'll find that many people will come and talk to you and show you lots of love.
That's awesome. I appreciate your taking time to talk with me.
You're welcome. And thank you. Bye.
Bye.
That was Donna B Astrology. Just still reading. I think I took her for a spin there for a second. She wasn't ready for my questions. I don't think I'm ready for anything, but I always am at the same time, right, Eternity?
Basically. Hi, Akeem.
How you
How
doing?
are you?
I'm all right.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
What's this,
And
the title? What is this meditation?
um, it's a dream I had, and part of this line here, the trees are taller where the land is earlier, um, came up in the dream. And
Hmm.
um, Andre and I see you. Thanks for listening. I saw you there earlier. Um, I'm a little caught up in my head right now. Uh, so yes, yeah, and so the trees are taller where the land is earlier is part of it. And
What
would you
does
like
that
to hear the
mean?
rest? Because I planned on repeating it over and over
Yes.
and over again.
Yes, please.
So the entire and it was written on a scroll, no less, in a dream, which is very,
Oh,
very
that's
interesting.
powerful. I
And it
love it.
says the trees are taller where the land is earlier, and if the trees are taller where a night has fallen, there I do not carry my lamp. Now let me ask you a question. When you hear the word night, do you see one with an N or a K before it
With a K.
in this? Good. All right. So I figured out part of it, but the rest of it I don't understand. And mind you, this dream is probably 20 years old. But I've always
Hmm.
remembered this verse that came out of it because it was very clear, it was very plain. It was only these words and no other words. Nothing's missing, nothing was added. It's exactly that. And
Do you
it
mind
was in a
reading it
very
again to
strange,
me, hon?
sure, no problem. The trees are taller where the land is earlier. And if the trees are taller where a night has fallen, there I do not carry my lamp. So the first part I figured out, and I think maybe you can too. If not, just tell me. But it says the trees are taller where the land is earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So do you understand why trees would be taller where the land is earlier?
Because it's a older tree, is where my mind goes.
Yes, right. So the trees are taller, and because the land is earlier, so the land is earlier in time, so it's been there longer.
Right.
So that makes sense. Both of those things
Right.
together, I think we can add up. The trees are taller because the land is earlier. They've had a longer time to be there in
Right.
general. Okay,
Right.
so, but then it says, and if the trees are taller, or if the trees are taller where a night has fallen, there I do not carry my lamp. So now I think it's saying, so in earlier land or older land, right?
Mm-hmm.
The trees are taller where a night has fallen. So if the trees are taller where a night has fallen, there I do not carry my lamp. And Andrea, I hear you, or read you, um, that you may have some answers. We'll see. So,
It makes me feel like
um,
a knight has been buried there. Does that? That's where my mind
okay,
goes.
interesting. Yes, I mean,
But
so I do know that maybe a knight has fallen because, of course, if it's a fighter, right, and using the word
right.
fallen is very old way of saying someone was
Right.
killed in battle.
Right.
Um, and uh, and then also, can I offer you the at least part of the dream so to set up where it came from and why it's a little bit odd also.
Absolutely.
So the dream was in a nightclub of some kind that had several stories. um, I was either a security head of security or the owner or manager of something of it because everybody was treating me with a lot of regard, and and I was kind of just had my full reign of the place. I was just kind of walking through and observing things because I also knew that I was dreaming because I'm a lucid dreamer. So I was just kind of fascinated by everything that I was seeing because I had never seen this place before. So whenever I become aware of a place, I just explored for a few hours. And so I just walked around this club. And then as I was leaving at the exit, there was a one of those foldable tables, fold out tables. And it was like that beige, that light brown or beige kind of top. And they didn't have any kind of cover or anything over it. But for some reason, there were like different floral arrangements and on one side, but it was very bare. There was like on one side to the left of as I'm facing the table. So the table was to the left of the exit as well. And so I turned to it, and that's where the flower arrangements were to the left of the table. And then right in the center was the helmet that completes the top of the armor for the ones you would typically see from a medieval knight's armor. But only the helmet just sitting there on the table. And the eye piece was lifted, and sticking out of there was this scroll. It's just so ridiculous.
That's interesting.
And then on the
I want to hear
scroll, it
what someone
had these
else.
words.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, on the scroll,
Hmm.
it had these words. So that's it. And it's just been very interesting.
That's
So
that is interesting.
yeah.
I want to hear what Andrea has to say because I feel like she knows something.
All right. Well, I don't know if she's calling in, but we'll see. Because she said that. Yeah, she's just listening. Let me see. Oh, interesting. Moving into new territory. Yeah. There's something about that. Even though it was a long time ago,
Hmm.
there's something that because I haven't solved it yet, it feels like it's current, and that in order to
Right.
unlock something, just um, just like repeating old cycles,
Mm.
has to be like Donna B Astrology said that in retrograde I'm going to be doing something over and over again. I'm just like, that's the
Mm.
story of my life, it's like, it's like so somehow some lesson I haven't learned because
Right.
like huge stuff comes back in cycles,
I,
and
I
so
think
yeah.
Amber Rose told you that as well. She's a psychic medium here. I was on that call last week. There's something that you need to
Yeah.
learn from. I don't know what it is, but you do. It'll come to you if you don't already know what it is.
Yeah. No, I don't. I have no clue.
And by the
I
way,
have no
Donna, I
clue
would like
about
to speak
anything.
to you. I followed you. Yeah, I want to ponder on your dream some more because I'm not quite sure
Okay.
fully what it
Well, do you
means.
have anything to add otherwise? I mean, you don't have to address my very perplexing uh, illusion.
I will add that last week you is the first time we spoke to in this realm, anyway, and you gave me my
Mm,
life path number. And then on Saturday, I had
mm,
this self-care session that I have every couple of weeks with my soul mother. And we went over life paths and our birth charts. So I was like, oh my God, this is perfectly aligned. I just did this with Hakeem. So I want to share that with you.
nice. Oh, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear about how things are lining up in all kinds of ways.
Yes.
That
So I
is so
thank you.
cool.
I'm about to actually need to get some nourishment and get some work
Yeah,
done.
thank you.
But I'm going to keep listening
All
for a
right.
little bit. Thank you.
All
Sending
right.
you peace and love.
All right. Be well, Eternity. Thanks. All right. That was Eternity. Always wonderful to hear her and feel those vibes. And what is going on here? All right. So just had a little thing stuck. So this is different, though the repetition is more about clarity and being thorough. Thank you. All right. So a little recap once again, because I just wanted to also I call it an indigenous meditation because indigenous refers to something that has always been there usually on land. And so, and that could be plants, by the way, insects, The term can be used for people, humans as well. So Indigenous. And so this has been a meditation because it's just been seared into my consciousness. I've always remembered it. And I've always remembered it because, one, as soon as I arose from that little adventure in my mind, I wrote it down because at some point in time I was responsible enough to keep a pad and pen next to me, knowing how much I remember my dreams. And so I looked at it often, and I don't understand what it means, but it sounds interesting, so I keep it with me. Maybe if you understand and craft a code, you can keep that with you too. Until next.